Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Maddie from Mostly Maddie, and today I'm going to be doing a flip through of my entries from the month of March. I haven't done a flip through in a little while, and I guess I can kind of do a flip through, talk about all of my journals, kind of where I'm at with everything, and just show you some of my pages. If you are new here, I use a dated daily planner to do my memory keeping because it forces me to sit down at the end of every day and really think about the day and what happened, any little moments that I want to capture. I'm currently a stay-at-home mom with 3 small kids, so some days we don't do a lot, but I do enjoy the practice of sitting down and trying to recall even like the smallest little moments, and it has been truly such a joy being the family memory keeper and updating this planner and just keeping our life in here. So without further ado, I will go ahead and get started. I am using the Rosey Life Planner. This is the A5 size, and I have a leather cover on it right now. So the cover is from Jenica's Journals, and she can be found on Etsy. I just didn't love the cover of this, and I've really enjoyed having a leather cover on here. In this planner, there are a bunch of different sections, and for this section here, it has, I would assume most people would do maybe like habit tracking, or even you could, be writing down events or things you have going on every day. I mean, there's lots of ways you could use these pages, but this spread is January through June. So this is the first half of the year, and then it might be hard to see on screen, but I will bring it a little closer. You can see there is the date and day for every day of each month. So I decided for this page, since this is really memory keeping for my family, I'm really trying to keep all of it to that, and then I use different journals for like myself, my personal thoughts and things like that. So for this section, I am doing a glimmer a day, which is just something like one small little moment from every day, and writing it down in here. So there's some silly stuff, there's just like some little moments, things that I definitely would have forgotten otherwise. And like oftentimes these little tiny moments might not make it into the bigger pages. So yeah, it's just, it's been cool. And I wasn't sure how I would like how this looked, but honestly, I like it so far. And so yeah, I was able to do all of March, and it's relatively easy to keep up with. If there are days where I don't get to my journal, I often either have a notebook with me when we're out on the go, and I will just like jot some things down in there that I want to remember to journal about later. Or also I sometimes will use my notes app and just write things so that I can come back later and fill them in. And I have talked before, there are these quarterly pages that I have not been sure what to do with. And I honestly had an idea the other day. I think I might put in the different like pictures of the books that we get out from the library, because we do go to the library often, and it's cool to see, just all the different books the kids have been interested in, because I pretty much let them go and pick out what they want. And so I think it would be fun to just kind of have a visual of all the books from each month that they check out, because we probably go like, I would say on average, we go once or twice a month. So these will be easy to fill out, and I can just use my Canon IV printer and print out little covers of the books. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing for this section. I will not be showing the monthly pages because it's just a bunch of pictures of my kids and I'm just protecting their privacy, but I do a photo a day in the monthly pages, and that's probably one of my favorite things, just because you get to see their little faces change from week to week. It's really neat. Beginning of the year, I was using the weekly pages to do a weekly report, but then I quickly, as I've mentioned, I'm really trying to keep this family focused, and this was really just like me, so it just didn't feel right being in this planner, so I stopped doing that after a couple of weeks. And I haven't done much in here. I was just like at the end of the day going through and kind of like writing down like what happened in the day, but I kind of feel like it's just a little redundant. Like I'm just repeating myself, and I do not like repeating myself in my journals. So yeah, these are just continuing to be blank for now. I don't know. I still don't know. I know there's so many great ideas out there on how to use these weekly pages. However, since this is just like really strictly for my family, I just don't know practically what I could fill these pages with that would make sense for this memory keeping. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And then you get into, after the weeklies, you get into the dated daily pages. And this is where really the bulk of the memory keeping happens. And every day I really just do whatever it pops into my mind. So for example, we were really sick at the beginning of March, and we didn't do a whole lot. Like, I was sick and then I was fine, and then my husband was sick. So like, we really didn't do much. So this was like the first day me and my 3-year-old were like, we were the only ones feeling okay. So we went and got coffee, and I just didn't have much else to say because again, it was like we really weren't doing anything. We were just like watching movies at home and resting. So I just took a bunch of star stickers and then added some pictures using my Canon IV printer. Then this was like coming out of being sick. So my husband was still sick. However, I got to take our oldest to his Rockwall gym. He goes pretty regularly. And usually my husband takes him because he's the one who can do like the belaying and stuff. However, there is still some things he can do if I just go because I'm not certified, so I can't do the belaying. And this is from the place we got sandwiches after the Rockwall gym. And yeah, I often just print a lot of pictures too and stick them on the page. My kids were giving me a head sandwich hug, so that's what that is. And there are absolutely days that I look back or I sit down to journal and I'm like, what? Like, what happened all day? I don't even know. Like, literally, I wrote, what even happened today? And then I sat down and I was trying to like think about everything that we did. So yeah, there are days where it's like, it's really just writing down what we did and not really talking about anything else other than like, here's what we did. And I really like having fun playing with, different layouts and formats and just using a lot of color and being fun with my pages and being playful. I don't really like any day to look the same. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I really like to switch it up, especially because our days can be so different. So to have each page kind of represent how different every day is really neat. I was having a really hard time and mentally. So I just stuck this sticker in, which is one of my favorite Noah Kahan lyrics. And which I know, like I've mentioned, I'm really trying to keep like my mental headspace out of this memory keeping, but like I was really struggling, and this was all I could muster. So I think I just stuck in this library receipt, and then I just wrote like really hard day for me underneath. Easy way for me to fill up pages is just like writing really big like this. You'll see that's like super common in all of my journaling practice, is kind of making like headers. Another reason I really like doing this is when I'm going back through and like flipping through pages, I want to find something, or I just want to like quickly kind of see what the day was like. For me, this is like really helpful because I can flip through quickly and really easily see. Like, my eye is very drawn to like the headers, and I'm like, oh, okay, ran 5 miles, went to the it's just like, it's very easy for me. And I like that, especially as this is something that, myself and our family eventually will go back and like flip through these pages, and they don't have to sit there and read paragraphs and paragraphs of my writing. They can just see like the highlights of our life, So this is, I would say, probably the most common format that I do use. And I do like to just do the header. And then if I have more I want to say, I'll leave some space to write some details. This was where I actually really decided, like, I need to keep my stuff out of here. And again, everybody's different. If you like to put everything into one journal, continue doing that. For me, I'm just like, again, when it's like I'm coming to flip back through this with my family, it's like, okay, I realized after I did this page, like, I really need to have a separate space for this. So that's what I'm using. I was using the Hobonichi Han for like my doodle a day, right? And I just got kind of tired of doing that. It just like became a little more cumbersome. So yeah, there's a bunch of blank pages in here, but I realized like I can do fun, smaller spreads like this and have these be like my pages where I'm talking about like a new pen I bought. I'm talking about I need to get my spending together. Like this is like things that are focused solely on me. And I think it's going to work really well because it's smaller. So it'll be easier to like make these little spreads and I don't really have to think about it too hard. You know, like these are big pages and it's a lot to fill out. So I think having a smaller one for just like me personally will be really helpful. Between that and then doing my like morning stream of conscious journaling, I feel like I can get all of my shit into a different place and leave this really just for the family. So my husband and I did get to go on a date night, and so I printed a Polaroid of our dinner out. It was really fun. And yeah, this was the week that my parents were in town visiting us, so we got to do a lot, and thankfully we had really, really nice weather. So while they were here, we got to be outside a ton too. This was the day we went to the zoo. It was so fun and just like a really great day. And you can tell I love color, I love markers, I love stickers and pictures. So some of these pages are like, wow, that you probably look at it and you're like, holy crap, there's a lot going on here. Because I also don't really care, like I don't need these 2 pages to match or like look aesthetic together. I'm just like, I just do whatever. And yeah, sometimes it like, if I really want the page to be filled out, I'll just add little doodles or squiggles or things like that to fill in the white space. That's the one thing that I have struggled a little bit with the Rosey Life Planner is like this date is so small in this corner, and I'm so used to with Hobonichi, you know, you get the date and then you have like these boxes and this like you have a little more of like a header with a date up here, and you don't get that with this because it's so minimal. So I found that I'm like, and because there's no quotes at the bottom, like there's way more paper, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I've just struggled with like figuring out how to fill all the pages because it feels like there's a lot more real estate to work with. This was my baby's first birthday, so I put some pictures the day of his birthday and then the day he was born, and just kind of wrote a little bit about how I was feeling. Since we don't live close to any family, he got a lot of birthday cards, so I taped them in here. Actually, I had 2 in here, and I realized it made the journal super, super bulky, so I ended up putting one back here. I'm gonna have to figure out like what I end up doing with that, you know, once this journal's over, but I just put it back there for now. And yeah, this day, basically my whole day was taken up by my run because I'm training for a marathon. So I just wrote, this was the longest run I ever have done in my life. So I just kind of wanted to document it. Again, this is something now I think I'm going to start be putting into the smaller Hobonichi because this has nothing to do with my family. My son made me this, he made me this giant necklace made out of all of these stickers and is really cute. So I took a picture wearing the necklace and with him in it. And then I said, is it okay if I put this in my journal? I love it. And he was cool with me taking it and putting it in my journal. So this was the necklace, and I just kind of like had to move some stuff to make it fit in here. And that was just, you know, it was like a day at home. So there wasn't really much else to talk about. And yeah, we started to get our spring here in the city, and it's been very lovely. So these are obviously 2 kind of flower pages. So this was a doodle. I got to go on a hike and see a bunch of daffodils. And then my 5-year-old wanted to be like me and get his camera and go take pictures of the cherry blossoms. And then when we got home, he's like, Mom, we need to draw one of our pictures. So me and him worked on this, this drawing together. And we used one of my pictures as like a reference. So this was the final product, and I just love it because it's like such a special thing that I feel like if I wasn't doing this journaling, that probably would have eventually ended up in the trash. And so like to have this here and it's just really special and meaningful. These are like random pages from Stationery Fest. So yeah, because we were like traveling, I just wasn't really journaling too much, and then I just kind of did a photo dump of the weekend on this page. We got back and I went for a walk in this park and the flowers were blooming. It was just beautiful. So again, now that I've kind of figured out like these will go into my own personal page, and like I'm going to be doing really trying to keep the 2 separated. It's just hard. Like I have to kind of rewire my brain and like remember that that's how I want to be doing it moving forward. So yeah, we started new journals. My 3 and 5-year-old love journaling with me. Like when I'm doing it, they want to be doing it. So I bought them new journals, and I like to take pictures and put them at the front of their journals and then write the date. And so these were the photos that we took for their journals. So I put them in here as well. And yeah, I mean, you can just kind of see what we were doing. I wanted to like make a quick note of my 1-year-old has just been like super funny with like giving kisses lately, and he's 1 now, so he's starting to, you know, have a little bit more of a personality, do some more things, be a little more like interesting. I hate to say that, that sounds bad, but you know, if you have a baby under 1, you kind of know it's like they're blobs for a while before they like really start to show and like show their personality. Oh, and my 3-year-old had an absolutely hilarious, like crazy hair day. So I just kind of did a really rough sketch and just wrote about it because it was really funny. I actually liked how I did this. So there's a picture here of the family. And then like I did around the picture, the things that we did during the day. I thought that was kind of like a cool new format that I tried out. And yeah, that's the end of March. So this day, again, like this is what happens when it's just kind of a chill day at home. Like I did a quick little bullet point of what happened, and then I just kind of filled the page with like little post-it notes, just because I don't like having blank pages. So it's the end. So then you see I finally did a cover page. I've been very bad about doing cover pages, but I did my cover page for April, and that is the full flip through, because yeah, then you get into the new month, and that's everything. I feel like I kind of went through that quick, but I feel like I don't have to belabor the point of like every single thing that I wrote down. I can quickly talk about, I haven't been doing great with keeping up with this. This is like my health and hobbies journal, and it's fine. It's more of like an archive right now. I don't really actively keep up with it. I kind of go back and fill it in later, which like I'm kind of like, what's the point of that? You know, if you've watched any of my videos from this year, you know I've been like majorly struggling with my weeks this year. But the reason I want to like hang on to it is because I have my little reading journal back here. So I'm like, I can't fully let go of this Hobonichi Weeks, because this is where I'm going to be keeping all of my reads for the year. So I don't know. I'm just going to, I guess, continue to archive and maybe just like not spend as much time on it as I have been in the past. We will see. And I already showed you the Hobonichi Han. I don't know if I really did much creative journaling this past month. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Not really. So I placed an order with Unicorn Eclipse, and this is like all of the stuff that came in the mailer, which is always fun because they have just like the best packaging. And like this is the tissue paper in the background, which is so pretty. And then I added, some of the post-it notes and things that I purchased. I kind of stuck back here just to help me keep track of like what was in my order. And yeah, then I had my Chicago Stationery Fest. I did this while I was there. I brought this journal with me, and I had a couple people sign my journal. I put some, like, while we were, they had stamps at a bunch of different stations. And then during one of my workshops, I had everyone that was sitting near me kind of write something or doodle something. And so I taped that in because I just thought that was really fun. And this was a workshop page. And this was kind of like leftover junk from the Stationery Fest. I filled out an entire traveler's notebook, and I still had this like remaining stuff, which is crazy. Like I just had so much stuff from the trip, which was cool. And yeah, this was just a quick spread I did with our library's calendar. And I was just kind of playing with some paper here. This is scrapbook paper from the May subscription for Cocoa Daisy. And I just love all the scrapbook paper so much. So I cut them all up and kind of like made this fun page. And then I added a couple of stickers, and I was just like wanting to create and have a little fun. But yeah, that's it. I haven't really done a ton of creative. I mean, I only did like 3 or 4 spreads in the month of March, which is just not a lot for me. But the beauty of the creative journal is I pick it up whenever the, motivation hits me. And I don't really feel guilty if I don't fill it out because it's not like it's dated or anything. So, all right, I think that's it for now. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to put them in the comments below. And thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.